lead us in the four-way test.
Well,
Kathy Coyle.
Is it the truth?
Is it the truth?
Is it fair to all concerned?
Is it fair to all concerned?
Will it build goodwill and better friendships? That was good. Is it beneficial to all concerned?
Yeah, we'll work on that.
we need to practice, President Cole.
Okay, we've got a song. It may have something to do with this particular time of year.
All right, here they come.
After Carl Johnson.
President Joel actually selected a song for today. We're going to have him introduce it for us.
So this is a George M. Cohen song, and you've probably all heard it before. We're not singing the verses because nobody knows those. We're just going to do the chorus twice.
Well, I thought about what I wanted to say today. And since it's Joel's first meeting, and you know what, Joel, we must have been thinking similar thoughts, because I thought about the four-way test too. But I think there's a number 5. The four-way test, or should it be maybe the 5-way test for our particular club? Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Will the president be able to tolerate our antics? Congratulations, Joel. It's your first Rotary meeting as our new president. I am very excited for you. I guess today is kind of like your first day at school or a new job. I think we just talked about that. You have a fresh opportunity to make your mark and establish yourself as a leader that will help make a difference and be a beacon for others to follow. Now, with all that said, be aware that we as Rotarians will not pass up any opportunity to have a little fun with you at your expense. Thank you, and welcome, Joel.
As a former Navy man and submariner, I would expect no less. We have a full line. Look at all these great people. Linda Stanford once again doing double duty as spur reporter and spur publisher. Don Holtz has said he's actually going to take a couple of photos that make me look good. That's a challenge, Don. I'm sorry. And Dennis O'Brien, who is doing better, is our public Our greeter was Linda Lee. Did everyone get greeted? We have sergeants at arms. It's not a difficult job, and everyone can learn to do it if you want to use the club service there. Today, they are David Browns. Well, we have 3 sergeants at arms. Sonia Sheffield and Debbie Peck. Thank you. Our web maestra, web mojo, web master, you name it. Kathy Coyle. Thank you, Kathy, for keeping our website. Kelly Bowers, again, she's recovering. She's been a little under the weather. And videographer, Tim Beery. Put the camera at the motion that's happening on stage and then send it in. That's really all you have to do. Okay. Visiting Rotarians. Do we have any visiting Rotarians today? I don't recall seeing any.
I'm back.
Now, Monica, we know that you're not quite a visiting Rotarian yet.
I'm ready to sign up, but nobody's signed me up yet. So
Okay.
oh my God, you and I had an agreement. Yes, my darling, I know, thank you. Love you.
This is like a Muppet Show. Okay, so Linda Stanford, as the new membership chair, remember to send Monica an application. Okay, and I saw we did have some guests, so let's start introducing our guests. Remember, we applaud for guests. We say hi with their name for Rotarians who are visiting. So let's get some of the guests going here.
Right over here.
Michael Mosby has the guest. Michael Mosby.
Hi, once again, I'd like to introduce to my fellow Rotarians, Heather Gallis, who's interning at Quest Science Center this summer.
Well, I guess it needs no introduction. Go ahead.
Okay, but I want to introduce him. This is my lovely friend, Steve Shirley, son of our late Rotarian, John Shirley.
President Joe, I'd love to introduce my beautiful wife, Natalie.
Okay, are there any more guests? Don't see any more guests. Announcements. I'm going to do a quick insert announcement here. Happy Canada Day to those of you who are here.
Happy Crown Royal Day.
It's time for birthdays and anniversaries, it being the first of the month.
Me.
Debbie's doing it.
So if it's your birthday and I call your name, and if I don't call your name, then too bad. If I call your name, just raise your hands, David's got to come forward. So Wendy Ellison, July 6th, she's not here. Mary Sweeney is here, July 7th. Jay Davis is not here. Jim Hannon? No. Linda Stanford, we know you're here. July 22. David Scheffler has got a birthday. Bob Cowan. July 23rd. And a new member, Roger Ames. He's got July 3rd. July 17, we'll be married 60 years. Patricia Monroe. Pat, she's not here. Dave Wright, he's not here either. And John Wentz, he's here with his wife Sherry, 31st of July, 55 years.
It's like a he or she song, okay? Gender neutral.
I don't know whether you're going to sing.
Ain't she sweet? Don't you think she's kind of neat? Well, I asked you very confidentially, ain't she sweet? Ain't she nice? Look over once or twice. Well, I asked you very confidentially, ain't she nice? Just that's right. In her direction. Oh, me, oh, my. Ain't that perfection? I really don't think she's kind of sweet. Well, I asked you very confidentially, ain't she sweet?
Thank you, President Joel. We have Dr. Palmer up here. I'm passing the torch for club service for Dr. Palmer. We're giving out the award for the most assists for the meetings for the month of June. And it's a bit of a shorter month. We had our demotion party. But you know what? We got a tie for first place. Trudy Marks at 4 assists. She's a first place winner. And she's on vacation. Linda Stanford's first place. Come on up. They each win a $25 gift card to Casa Mexico. Congratulations, Linda. Thank you. All right. And Margaret's got a message for you.
I do indeed. I want to thank those of you who stepped in to fill our blank spots for our next meeting. Sheila, Pat, and Norm, thank you very much. I will add you to the spreadsheet. Just for everybody else's knowledge, come on guys, sign up. Don't make me come tap you on the shoulder and ask you to do something. Just volunteer. But I appreciate everyone, and especially those who stepped up for next week.
So I might have falsely advertised this. There's a Kids Against Hunger food packing event going on the 17th, which is 2 weeks from this coming Saturday. The reason I kind of misadvertised it is they're asking for people who have done this before and don't need any instruction on what to do, because they're trying to pack 1 million packages, 100,000, I guess it's 100,000 packages in 1 day. I've been to a couple of these, Mary Martha has too, and we package typically around 20,000, 15,000, somewhere in there, ready-to-go meals for people in disaster areas or people where people are starving. So it's really it's a very fast 2 hours that you're there because you're moving all the time and putting all these packages together. So if you've ever done this before, you can go to their website and sign up. We can send you the links. I think we have sent you the links.
Yes.
But if you think you can do it and would need a little bit of coaching, well, you'll have other people from the club there that can help you out, right? So let's help them get 100,000 meals packed. Mary Martha.
Is there a cost for this? Yes. Is there a cost? $20.
I think it's $20. And you basically help pay for some of the materials and Glenn.
You said Saturday, that says Friday. Which do you mean? Is the 18th to
The date, July 17th is a Friday, is that what you meant?
That's what they said on the website, I'm sure, so Friday. Sorry, my bad. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, moving on. Okay. You know, some of you finally remember finds in the past. I'm going to start out with a couple of brags, and those would be a couple from the floor. I think we had a immediate past president who neglected to introduce Madeline the last time she was visited. And it's also their 50th anniversary. So, immediate past president Pat, do you have anything to brag about?
I do. I've been around 50 years.
Where's the microphone?
Oh my gosh. I'm going to stand up, Madeline.
You're going to introduce me?
Turn it on.
Hi. There you go. I think it's definitely 150. Woo!
Thank you, immediate past president Pat.
Joe,
Oh, look at it. Do you have something to brag about?
I sure do. I'm with the Livermore Heritage Guild as well. And many of you were there last night. And thank you so much for making Livermore the movie, a small documentary made in 2002, a sellout show at the line. That's what I'm bragging about.
I have known Joel for a long time, and during that time I figured out he's a pretty good guy. And he likes to serve, and I asked him if he'd like to join Rotary. And he joined Rotary. I sponsored him. And that's, I'm bragging.
Your dad's been a good 25 years.
yes.
My grandson Blake is going to be performing at the National Hip Hop Competition in Las Vegas next week. And I'm so beyond proud of him. So,
Will you sing his performance?
absolutely, all of them. He's in like 5 dances. But I'm giving him the best for his solo. Fingers crossed.
Great.
Okay, so this is another grandson brag, I suppose. I hadn't really thought about it until now. He's just finished his first year at college, and I met him last week. I don't see him too often. He lives down south. And I was standing up talking to him, and he was standing up, and suddenly realized that I was actually looking up at him. So I used to be 6'6", I'm probably 6'4.5" or 5", but I think he's now 6'6", and he's 19 years old. So the other brag I want to say about him is last year in high school, he always played in the school musicals. This last musical was Les Miserables. I must admit, the first time I thought, oh God, it's just not a big school, how are they going to do this? It's going to be a possible disaster. As it turns out, my my thinking was totally wrong. It was absolutely fantastic. And not only that, he played Jean Valjean. And I don't think I'm really bragging too much. The last bit he did where he said, take me home, or whatever, if anybody can remember that song. Oh yes. I was almost crying in the audience. He really got to me. So afterwards, he's a sporty guy too, he's a baseball player. Afterwards I said to him, well, you found your new vocation for the future, right? He said, no. I said, why? He said, too much work. He said, this was a ton of work. He had to learn how to sing, and he did really well. Anyway, so I'll give $100 to you guys.
Oh, okay. Kathy Coyle.
I thought I should brag about being a dual citizen. I've been dual citizen since 1982. And the reason when I had my interview to get my citizenship, which was in 1982, they asked, they were going to hold it up.
and because they needed something else from this guy. And so I had to talk to an attorney. He said, why is it so important that you become a U.S. citizen right now today? And I said, well, I'm 8 months pregnant and I want to be a citizen when my baby's born. So that's worth $100 to me. Okay, I'm going to do a little brag, and my brag is on, believe it or not, our past presidents and Mark. Our demotion skit went so well, thank you, Mark. And all the past presidents, I was very, very honored to work with all of you. And you all were so gracious when Mark wasn't able to be there to work with me. And I really appreciate that. And I hope Madeline and you, Pat, enjoyed it. So my brag, thank you.
Okay, well, we're ahead of the curve on brags. How about that? So next week we'll be hearing from one of our newest members. He's in the satellite club. His name is Billy Martinez. He's young. He is young. So come and hear him. He's going to be talking to us about finances and maximizing charitable impact of your donations. So he's quite interesting to talk to. Go to the satellite club meeting tomorrow night. Take a salad along with you because it's potluck night, and talk to Brody. It'll be informative. Okay. Now someone had a bad idea of putting me in as a nominee for president, and you accepted. So I'm going to talk a little bit about things, how they all go on. So who is this guy? You'll usually see me wearing that kind of hat outdoors, rodeo parades, Maryland Avenue barbecue. This could be from any time in the past 2 decades. Blue shirt, yellow vest, hat. My father was in the Coast Guard, and we grew up in several places close to the ocean, until Washington State. Washington State, we were at the Coast Guard base in Port Angeles, Washington. A hot summer day there was 72 degrees. It rained in 210 days out of the year, and all my freckles disappeared. Mom was sad about that. And she grabbed my father by the lapels before he retired and said, when you retire from the Coast Guard, we're moving somewhere hot and dry. So I grew up in Scottsdale, starting in 4th grade, and graduated from high school in Scottsdale, Arizona at Saguaro High School. So nice cactus name. Right there. It was a family very familiar with the military. My uncle was a chief warrant officer, 3rd level, electronics technician in the Navy. He was a career. My father was a chief in the Coast Guard, also a career. And the 3rd one over there, Richard Swanson, never made it back from World War II. He's in Flanders right now. So my job at the lab enabled me to travel all over the Pacific Island territories, and that's a shot of the flags over the U.S. military cemetery in Saipan in the northern Marianas Islands. I had varied careers. Before any of this happened, I was a paper boy, I was a bus boy, I was a dishwasher, all that kind of stuff. And then got accepted into the Naval Academy, and so we have some Naval Academy stuff there on the left. Was a submariner, and when they said which submarine would you like to go to next, I started working for General Electric. So I was with GE for 15 years, most of that being at Vallecillos Nuclear Center off of Highway 84. I taught chemistry classes and then went out into the field and did jobs at various nuclear power plants around the world. One of which, let's see, was a surprise to us. We were called the night before I had to leave and said, you need to be in Spain tomorrow. And then my mom and dad were visiting from Arizona. I said, you need to be in Spain tomorrow. So consequently, Mary Martha got to entertain my mom and dad for a week of meeting. And so I was traveling so much, I was concerned that my son would not recognize his father when I was home. So I said, okay, I'll search for another job, and I managed to land a job with the chemistry department at Lawrence Livermore. And it wasn't in chemistry for very long because they found out what I did at GE before. They said, oh, we need to do this instead. So I started doing radiological type work. And those three things on the right were all various levels of emergency response to radiological incidents. So if a hazardous materials team found something that made their Geiger counters click, I could get a call in the middle of the night and have to dash out to anywhere in California, Nevada, Hawaii, or Pacific Island territories. That was my territory. So most of my career centered around chemistry, radioactivity, and protecting people from radioactivity. So if you haven't seen this Gary Larson cartoon, they're in the contaminated area. So, Foster, that's how you want to come? Well, take this. I never saw that happen, but it could have. And that's a picture of me with three of my coworkers on the upper right. We're in Las Vegas wearing rubber suits in the bright sun. And this was an actual drill where they sprayed radioactive material around. And we got to go and do all of our measurements and map the area and everything else. It was radioactive material. It had a 6-hour half-life. So at the end of the weekend, it was all gone. And, you know, I didn't just do career stuff. I had a wonderful life. Thank you. That's my son up there. He's a little taller than me, and his beard looks better than mine. I'm active in our local church. I was in Scouts, really active in Scouts for about 20 years. Started as an assistant Cub Master, then leader, and then became an assistant Scoutmaster in Troop 939 of the First Presbyterian Church. The last time I went camping with him was almost 10 years ago, but I'm still what they call a charter organization representative for the Rotary Club of Livermore's Cub Scout Pack, which currently meets over at Jackson Avenue School. So we are their charter organization, and they rely on us to occasionally give them help. I like to travel. We've met some people who are mostly retired school teachers and their spouses and neighbors. And there's a picture of me in Belfast, just sipping some of the local brew there. I like to sing. I've been in choruses and glee clubs and so forth since 3rd grade. So I was in the children's choir at church. I was in the glee club at the Naval Academy. I got the honor of singing for President Richard Milhouse Nixon. And I actually have a picture of that. I like outdoorsy stuff. The thing on the right there you see is over at Bothwell Park on their bocce courts. And that's probably the sternest look you'll ever see on my face, trying to get that bocce ball to go where I want it to. But outdoor stuff is a lot of fun too. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about service. We are a service club, and we're trying to do good in our neighborhood, in our city, in the Tri-Valley, in the world. And there are various ways that you can show service here. The de minimis that one expects is you got to pay your dues, you got to come to meetings, occasionally at least, and be an active member of a committee. If you have a blue badge, you got that blue badge by saying that yes, you would be on a committee, and I will be asking you about that in ensuing weeks. And which committee or committees are you on? Because everyone here should be able to say which committee they serve in, except maybe visitors and friends of Rotary. You don't have to be on the committee, but you can. Okay, donations and fines, club service. Club service makes these meetings happen. The tablecloths are required by LARPD because we eat food on their tables, and they don't magically fold themselves and get longer if they need to be, things like that. So club service can be as easy as just cleaning off a table and folding a tablecloth, or learning how to video a meeting, or becoming a sergeant at arms, or there's a lot of different ways that you can help out here, and the more the merrier, it will help. Project participation is one of the big cornerstones of the community service we do. I am truly impressed by the people in the READY program. They are the ones that, I don't think I'm good enough for that. So it could be the READY program, it could be one of the projects that we are talking about later on here. It could be helping Paul Smith put the parade together. It could be helping out with, Maryland Avenue Barbecue. all these different things. We need people who are willing to go and actually do some of the work that needs to be done to make those projects happen. Project leadership is even more important than that. If you think a project is worthwhile, please step up and be in charge of it. And then club leadership, all of our board of directors, members, and executive board, we need those people to sort of steer things. All these quotes on the right are various quotes about service. The two on the bottom, one profits most, who serves best, and service above self are the two official mottos of Rotary International. It's a service club. I'm not throwing away the fellowship part. That's important too. And remember, if you need a tree trim, ask Trex. If you need a jacket made, talk to Christine. So, okay. So I already talked about this. Each of you is going to have an opportunity to sign up for a committee. And this is an old Boy Scout slide, but it was so good that I had to use it. All right. There's going to be a food committee. The food committee so far has been Alan Burnham picks up the sandwiches every week and orders additional sandwiches if we need them, and me. So we kind of need to get other people doing that. I might get busy this year and not be able to do all this stuff. So the food committee is going to help with getting the groceries. And the grocery run is easy. For our usual meetings with the chips and cookies, about once a month you go to Costco and buy a bunch of chips, a bunch of cookies, and some paper plates and cups and so forth. That's the easy part. Pizza lunches, special meals. You got to let Alan know that we don't need sandwiches that week. And you can also try to get some catered lunches. We've done that before, and a good point of contact for that is Mike Thompson, because he said he would help people out. Not Paul, Mike. Okay, I saw you look over Paul. Paul.
About the same.
I have a hard time telling them apart too. So. All right. Anyway, so the food committee will be one of the possibilities for signups, even though it's sort of a subcommittee for club service. So opportunities for projects. Not all of these have gelled yet, but this is the type of thing we're looking for. You see our Rotary International President's motto right now, lasting impact. Projects that will stay and do good in your community past my Rotary year. Get up closer to my children. Okay, so Maryland Avenue has about 50% of their students that don't speak English as their home language. When they go home, they're not hearing English come in their ear. And basically, it sounds like it's pretty simple. Your job there is to read English books to kids who don't speak English so they get the cadence and they start learning words and so forth. The principal there, Joe Mowbray, says if you don't get them English by the time they're out of elementary school, they're going to have a real difficult time in your education. Coming up in the spring, if the city has sufficient funds for trees, there's going to be some tree planting. We've done this kind of project before. That was back 10 years ago or something like that. But it's a worthwhile thing. Typically lasts one day, and you get to use tools. So. There's a possibility of putting out more communications boards. I was surprised to hear from Sheila that not every park in the LARPD system has the communications boards there, so we'll be looking into how many more do we need. We'll have to coordinate with LARPD to get those in. Now, the big project. This is kind of, I'm standing on the edge of the pool wondering how cold the water is, but this one here, it's a large project. There's an LARPD ranger station. Let me point it out to you on the map here. Right there. Right there, that green icon is where the ranger station is. There's a parking lot you can see below it, and then further down, before you get to the road there's a hillside, and they would like to get an amphitheater put there so that children from school on field trips to hear from the ranger will have a place to sit and listen to the ranger. It's going to take years to do this, and it'll be a pretty large financially project, so Mark is going to teach me everything he knows about how to get people to donate as much as they donated to the railroad station project. But it's going to be right across from Lenti Sparkling Wine Cellar. you can go have a sandwich and a beer afterwards. All right. Okay, so that's down close to the end of the Royal. Okay, so, Joe? Yes?
Are you looking at us participating physically in this or just raising funds for it?
This is probably not going to have a lot of us do physical things. We may have the opportunity to, it'll be fundraising, and you've seen the tiles outside of the bankhead where people get a sponsored tile and get their name on it, or outside of the Veterans Hall. Things like that may happen. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of opportunity for us to do this, but I'm going after the Rotarian Foundation to get them to support it, as well as the LARPD Foundation. I'm going to try to find some private donors as well. So, anyway, it'll be something big. It'll have a Rotary emblem on it, much bigger than the current Rotary project in this picture, which is there's a little cinder block barbecue there with a plaque on it saying this was put here in 1968 by the Rotary Club of Livermore and Interact. So, anyway, so maybe we could refurbish that a little bit to get the grill working again. Okay. Another pet peeve of mine is I go to our storage unit a lot, and we also have a storage shed that we built. Jigger, how long ago was it we put the storage shed on Steve Powell's place? 20 years?
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, so there's a shed there. I have a key. Right now, most of the equipment there that our club uses has been moved to a storage unit off of South Front Road. And in this, there's a couple of Rotary pop-ups, bright blue pop-ups with the Rotary Club of Livermore on them, and 3 folding tables, and a lot of stuff that I haven't seen move in the past 10 years. There's a lot of things that we can probably just put in a dumpster and send on their way. But again, we'll have to look at that. So we need to clean out some of our storage areas so we can fit all of our stuff in there. Okay. So I'll be announcing more about that as the time comes near. Okay. Now to irritate everybody. I'm thinking of doing some changes to how we do business here. In November, we're going back to 1 meeting a month at the Del Valle Rotary in the evening. It's going to be on the 3rd Wednesday of each month. And I'm doing this to support our satellite club that meets on the 1st Thursday of each month in the evening, same time. And what I'm hoping to have is an opportunity for them to attend meetings twice a month. One at our evening meeting, one at their evening meeting. And I didn't want to have the last Wednesday of the month be our evening meeting time because they meet on the 1st Thursday. So you could conceivably have a meeting on the last Wednesday night and a meeting on the 1st Thursday of the next month, which meant they have 2 nights of Rotary with wine. I'm not sure that's good. Okay, the reason we did this, we did our 6 months trial. And, being a junior statistician, I compared our attendance here versus our attendance there, really not much difference. It would be nice to get the attendance up just so everyone knows what's going on, but typically 1/3 to half of the club is what is at our meetings. And I didn't see a significant increase in new members, which was one of the reasons we were stating to have additional evening meetings. So, starting in November. We'll let you know which evenings between now and then are in the evening. Some have been changed from evening to noon. That's already on the calendar because the district governor is meeting us and she didn't want to come in the evening. She wanted to come at lunchtime. All right, what else do we have going on? I'm thinking about this. We used to charge visitors for lunch back when we were at the Doubletree Hotel. And looking at all the people we do let in, this kind of looks like what we do now. I'm not sure it's worth the sergeant at arms time and patience to get $5 from people who are visiting for the second time or something like that. So anyway, this may go away. Brags, you really impressed me with the amount of brags that came in this month. I was appreciative of that. So my target was 2 brags per meeting, so we're now about 3 meetings ahead. So that's great. Thank you for stepping up for that. Now, a ringing phone. During a meeting, we'll get you a fine of $10. And, you know, you can pay that now or you can pay that later. Oh, Gordon says I'm not charging enough. We may ramp that up, we'll see. All these fines, you know, me pointing you out to have a brag when you're not ready to have a brag or trying to fine you for something. Let's see. That is void. Fines are void if you join the President's Club. That's $100 to Liberty International, $100 to the Rotarian Foundation of Livermore, and $100 to the club. That makes you fine-proof. Over the past many years, I've joined the President's Club, so I could be fine-proof. And now I don't have to because I probably won't fine myself. So I'll wait till next year to join the President's Club when Steve is in charge. But if you join the President's Club, fines are canceled and you don't have to do a brag. All right.
Hey, Joe.
Yes?
I'd like to join the President's Club.
Oh!
Who would I see later today to make that happen?
So Alan, he's sitting over there. Do you have any say in how you want the President's Club paid for? There are actually 3 donations that you do. You go to Rotary International, donate $100 to their annual fund. You go to the RFL, the Rotarian Foundation of Livermore, and donate. And you go down to the bottom of the page, skip past the top donate button. Down at the bottom of the page, it says you can donate to a club's restricted account. And so you go to our President's restricted account, put $100 in there, and then do $100 to the Rotarian Foundation. That's the easiest way. You don't have to write checks, and Alan doesn't have to do any work that way. Any comments, Alan?
Well, one of the things I've noticed is that there are 3 Rotary organizations in Livermore. There's the Rotary Club of Livermore. Hopefully you all know which one that is. There's the Rotary Club of Livermore Valley, and there's the Rotarian Foundation of Livermore. And sometimes you get checks which is some sort of a mixture of the 3 names, and that's problematic. So please learn that there's only 3 options. You don't get to pick your own name. Okay. The second thing is, Joel says, you can do this online. If you give a check, if you want to do something to the Rotarian Foundation of Livermore, the easiest thing to do is to mail it to their post office box. They have somebody who then goes and gives it into their bank account. If you give it to me, eventually I will give it to the person who takes care of their stuff, and it'll take an extra week and it's extra work for me. So I prefer the Rotarian Foundation of Livermore money to go directly to them. Now, if you give it to me, I will certainly make it happen, but I don't need to be the intermediary. So that's the issue about payments. You know, as far as either cash or money in the club, I take a weekly trip to the bank, so that's, whether I add 1 thing or 10 things, it's the same.
Well, maybe we'll do some show and tell and get on the laptop and show people how to do this without Alan being bothered. Dennis.
Joe, is it true that joining the President's Club is a year tenure from July 1st to the next July 1st?
To the next June 30th.
June
Yes.
30th? Yes. So right now there is 1 member of the President's Club.
Yes.
I'll join the President's Club.
Anyone else?
I will, Joel.
Okay, Tim.
Yep.
I will too.
Okay, Karen.
Tim Berry, Don Lentz, Bob Cowan, right here, Linda Tenney. We're Dutch and Pat. Both, and Stu Frazier.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what else got here? Trex, Jim Schmidt, and was there somebody over here? Did you want to? Oh, okay. David? Oh.
So, Joel, I'm really confused on the payment. So, the person who joins the President's Club has to pay 3 different organizations.
As it always has been, yes.
That's ridiculous.
So,
why don't you give us the choice to pay either 1, 2, or 3? One only, $300 to one or the other.
We'll discuss it.
3 separate payments is stupid.
Okay. It's harder than it needs to be. All right. Any more people joining the President's Club? Going once, going twice? Okay. One other thing I do, just in the way of I grew up in Arizona and Hawaii, and I sunburned my entire childhood. And my dermatologist says, you gotta wear a hat outside. So I typically wear a hat, usually the broad brim khaki thing you saw in some of the earlier pictures. But I've accumulated a lot of hats over the years. Many of them I throw away, but many I still have. So for each meeting coming up, I'm going to be wearing a different hat. Now, do I have enough hats to make it through the entire year without re-wearing a hat? This is for you to observe and report on. You can guess for $10 whether the hat I am currently wearing I have worn before during this Rotary year. If you're right, you get $100. If you're wrong, the $10 goes to the club. So, this is my only standard Rotary hat. I have some unstandard ones. And that'll kick off the year there. So be looking for different hats and be looking for the same hat to come up later on.
Would you wear a hat which is donated to you?
As long as you say, here Joel, this is yours. Okay. And does this include the blue foam hat? Yeah, I suppose that was but, you know, I'm pretty much embarrassment proof. I was on a submarine with, you know, inventive people for a long time. All right. Okay. A pet peeve of mine. It seems like the same people are always cleaning up after a meeting. Please bus your own tables. There's a trash can over in the corner there. We have trash cans in the back of the Palo Verde room. If you have water still in your drink cup, here we take it outside and feed our favorite dry-looking tree. The Palo Verde room, we can put it in the sinks back in the corner where the sergeants and arms are. Please don't put liquids in the trash can because a nice young man by the name of Bismarck has to get those trash bags out of there. And if they're all sloppy wet, it's just not a good thing. You know, free to fold the tablecloths. I can give tablecloth folding lessons later on. Okay, talk about micromanagement. But I was in the nuclear Navy, and someone asked Admiral Rickler once, how do you prevent a meltdown? And he said, highly trained operators with verbatim compliance to approved written procedures. That's how you prevent a meltdown. Okay, so I'll show you the approved written procedure for tablecloth folding if you need it. All right. Yeah, leave the room better than we found it is the only request I have. Okay. Another change. At the start of each meeting, when we have either the Pledge of Allegiance or the forward. Sorry. Okay. At the start of the meeting, the person I call on has the option of leading us in the four-way test or doing the Pledge of Allegiance. That could be an either-or thing. If you want her to vote, you can lead us in both. That'll work. All right. And that's sort of the end of my prepared talk, but it's 250 years since the Declaration of Independence. And actually, on July 1st, 50 years ago today, I was on a sailboat in Newport, Rhode Island as part of the Operation Sail that went on there. Here's the pin that I got from that. And we were sailing down to New York to be in the parade of sail on the 4th of July. It was a hoot. Anyway, a lot of people at the yacht club took us cute young midshipmen and ensigns, and it was a good day. Some of you may have seen the Ken Burns documentary about the Revolutionary War and how people were divided, and there was an awful lot of rhetoric on both sides about that. One thing I had to memorize a long time ago was some words of Thomas Jefferson trying to convince people before the Declaration of Independence was signed about why we had to do this. So here's what he said. We have counted the cost of this contest and find nothing more dreadful than voluntary slavery. Honor, justice, and humanity forbid us to surrender the freedoms which we received from our gallant ancestors and which our innocent posterity have a right to receive from us. We cannot endure the infamy and guilt of resigning succeeding generations to that wretchedness which inevitably awaits them if we basely entail hereditary bondage upon them. Our cause is just, our union is perfect, our eternal resources are great. We gratefully acknowledge the signal instances of divine favor towards us that His providence would not permit us to be called into this severe controversy until we were grown up to our present strength, had been previously exercised in warlike operations, and possessed the means of defending ourselves. With hearts fortified with these animating reflections, we most solemnly, before God and the world, declare that exerting the utmost energy of those powers which our Creator has gratefully bestowed upon us, the arms we have been compelled by our enemies to assume, we will, in defiance of every hazard, with unabating firmness and perseverance, employ for the preservation of our liberty, being with one mind resolved to die free men rather than to live slaves. Happy 4th of July.